I'm the only one that's clapping as well. There you go, thank you, Tom. Thank you. Mark will never clap because to him you played far too many notes, but to me it was not enough.
For me, I played far too many notes.
Yeah, I know, right?
Especially this time of day.
Yeah, well, you can't say that time of the day and then take a swig of a beer, mate. Hello, everybody. My name is Joss, and today I'm here with the absolutely mediocre Andy James.
All right.
Yeah. We've done a couple of videos together before, haven't we?
One?
No. We done the one, and then we done the MT2 as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In London.
That. Yeah.
Oh, I was so underwhelming.
Well, there was a lot of hanging around, wasn't there?
There was a lot.
Waiting for a lot of. We had to get a lot of these rhythm players out the way before. We
before the notes were played.
Before the notes, because
exactly.
if you start with notes at the beginning of the day, you're going to be pretty annoyed with them by the end of the day. Yeah, so I almost swore then.
Yeah. No, it's all right. You can swear.
Oh, can I? All right.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. As long as I go overboard.
No. I'd never do that.
Yeah, sure. So we got Andy in today to talk about the Boss GT1000.
Yep.
And just in terms, kind of basically the way that I wanted to sort of roll with it was kind of to talk to you about it in terms of how you're using it as an artist, not to it does this, it does that.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you want any verbal manual technical knowledge, then you ain't going to get it out of me, because I never do that with anything anyway. I like to just kind of mess around with stuff. I mean, how I have mine set up at the minute, I've got it on my AJ lead, which is if I turn up and I need to plug it into an effects return of any amp or whatever, like I'm doing today. I've gone into the return of the Katana. Yeah. Just for ease, I'll have it on because none of them have the cabinet selected on them, and they're EQ'd slightly differently. So this is more EQ'd to a speaker or something or whatever, and then so I've got a clean, a rhythm and lead, which is, to be honest with you, all I need. Yeah. I don't need anything. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of the time I don't even use the clean channel because I'll stick cleans on track. Yeah. And then just play over the top. I mean, it gives me a rest live if there's any clean sections. There's a song called 85, which has got kind of a cool, clean sort of tapping vibe in it. It's kind of thing, but it's having to sort of change and go from the bit before that to then go into that bit. I'd rather just leave it and then just.
Do you have that bit on the back and track?
Yeah, and then I just sort of come in and just sort of play the lead bit.
Yeah.
The bit that anyone's interested in.
Oh, what, when they come to see you play? Well, Andy's playing clean.
Yeah. I know, I don't really do clean, to be honest with you, but it's there should I need it. But it sounded a bit dull there, but because I've got it set up for the coil tap on this guitar, so it sounds a little bit kind of brighter. Don't use a pick that thick when I'm doing clean stuff either.
Oh, okay.
I normally use a 0.73, which instantly has more snap in there. Yeah. So if I'm recording or anything, I won't use what's that, a 3mm?
Is that one of the flow picks?
It's one of the flows, yeah. I mean, it's not one of mine. I do have some of mine, but sometimes...
I'm using one of yours.
Oh, yeah?
I'm always using it. I've never changed. I've even got Dunlop made me my ones, and I'm still using yours.
Right. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, Tom's a maniac on the guitar.
I mean, they're great. It's just sometimes, today, it's well hot and it's a little bit thicker and it has the grip on it. But most of the time, I'll use mine. It just depends. Every day I get up and I still have this thing. Is this a 2mm day or is it a 3mm?
Right, yeah.
So I'm kind of constantly going between them two. But yeah, for clean stuff, To get the most out of this tone, I use a thinner pick.
Yeah.
Just to get more snap out of it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty basic. I mean, what have we got here? I was going to start getting technical then. I don't actually know what amp it is.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
These patches will be available at some point anyway, so I'll just rip these off and then.
So Andy James GT1000 sort of patches that.
Yeah. So we just did a video last week, just kind of highlighting the benefits of these or whatever. I did a song actually using like 4 of the sort of tones.
Okay.
Which were more the studio ones, which I'll get to in a minute. Obviously, I won't be able to play them because they've got cab sims on and it sounds a bit weird. So yeah, that's the clean. And then for like a rhythm, I've got like this. I don't know what the amp is either.
Okay, no,
but it kind of again, it's sort of tuned into. I mean, for metal tones, I don't really go for super scooped. I like that more JCM 800 type
well, that's
sound.
the thing for me as well. It's one of those things that if you're, the more mid-range you have, the more prominent your guitar sound will be in the mix. And even if you're playing live, if you scoop it out, it automatically becomes hidden under the bass and the drums and everything. You have to work harder to get anything out there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, I used to be one of these guys that would just plug into an amp. Bass all the way up, resonance all the way up, kind of mid on maybe about 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then just realise while my bass player's looking at me going, do you even need me?
Yeah.
And then, but I mean, since getting into more like recording and production and just, it's weird, you know, when you've got like a looping DI within a session and you say just open up a plugin or whatever, or this, so if you loop a DI through this, it's amazing how you'll dial your tone in to fit the mix, but then when you actually plug in to play the tone, you're like, I would never dial that in a million years.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of have to think about, you know, where like your low end sat, and obviously, you know, if you're in a band, you're going to have a bass player. So there's not a super amount of low end. There's just enough, but then if you stick a like low B under that, it would just enhance the sound of the guitar.
The big old bottom end.
And the mid range on it as well, because the track I recorded for Boss was this tone literally straight into my interface.
Okay.
So it's got quite a bit of mid range in there as well, but when you double track this particular tone, it when you like spread the left and right, it just gives you this sort of like broad, I don't know, mid-range. It sounds pretty open, but it takes up a lot of the mix, but it actually isn't like stifling to anything else that's happening. So you can still get quite a big guitar tone, but you can get like, you know, your drums sounding pretty big as well.
Which is what you want for any sort of instrumental song, track or album. The guitar needs to be a prominent feature, but you don't want to completely destroy the rest of the band.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like the last album I did, Arrival, I mixed it that way in terms of it's very mid-range heavy and it's not like piercing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you imagine like listening to it, the trouble is with a lot of metal and a lot of heavy stuff, when I hear it, I just hear like this.
Yeah.
And can you imagine without vocals and like lead guitar for like an hour?
Yeah.
It's going to drive you nuts. So I try and dial some of that out in favour of allowing the mid-range to come through a little bit more. So I do go for that across the board, really.
So so you've got everything that's built into obviously the GT1000 you're using anyway. So the whole thing is the amplifier, and then you've got obviously the cabs turned off because we're using the Katana.
Yeah. So if I go into the amp, it's actually a dual amp, this one.
Oh, okay, so you've got
there's 2 amps running at the same time, so it's like a blend. So we've got it on the X-modded type. And that's it really, there's literally nothing else in the signal chain.
Just a noise gate.
There is a noise gate in there which you can set, but that's pretty much it. The other stuff is just set accordingly. So yeah, the noise gate just literally comes straight after, which is the GT1000 model of the NS2, I'm guessing. Which I've used for years. I've been through quite a lot of noise gates. Other ones are available, but like the Boss NS2 has always been, because it doesn't clamp your sound completely, but it cuts it just enough for like solos to breathe and stuff like that. Yeah. I find some of them out there are a little bit too like it's either all or nothing. You know what I mean? So I quite like that. And then what's the next amp we have in the chain? It's 2 X-moddeds.
So it's 2 of them?
Yeah, they're just EQ'd slightly differently, I think.
And does that allow, I mean, excuse my ignorance, but does that allow you to, when you like split off live, does that create your stereo effect, but with the two sort of EQ'd amplifiers, or is it just that they're running at the same time?
If you were going to go stereo out of it, then yeah. I mean, at the moment, I'm just going straight into the back of that, so I don't suppose you're going to get the benefit too much of that. But sometimes, like recording, I'll have slightly different tones left and right.
Yeah.
Just because it sort of creates that illusion of depth, I suppose, rather than having the same tone either side.
Yeah.
Which, you know, works. It depends how tight you want it, really. If you're doing like loads of heavy sort of down picking and kind of metalcore style, I suppose you would have probably the same amp either side.
Yeah.
So that's it, really. What we doing EQ wise.
But you're also playing, when you play live as well, I mean, I don't know if anything's changed with your live performance stuff or if it's going to change, but it's just you on guitar, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do have quite a lot of track running.
Right.
I mean, that's normally a financial decision more than anything.
Of course, like taking somebody else out,
Yeah, I mean, I'd have a rhythm guitar player and someone to play all the harmonies as well if I could afford it, and drum. I mean, I've got a drummer and bass player, and then it's just me with like everything else on
a backing track.
Steve Jobs, basically.
Steve Jobs, yeah, good old Steve Jobs, yeah.
So that's it, but it just makes my life a little bit easier because, you know, my songs are heavily lead orientated, so a lot of the other bits and pieces I'll stick on track, so I don't have to literally play for the whole song. Gives you a break, you know, when singers have like breaks where there's like drum solos or guitar solos. So that's it really. I mean, just quickly on the clean, I don't know, effects, I've only got a bit of delay, reverb and chorus. Yeah. And essentially that's all I really do. I mean, you dial that into taste as well. Like, it just
the chorus
depends.
sounds really nice though. The chorus does sound really
big.
Right,
yeah. I mean, again, it's because it's not on a stereo setup, you can't really hear too much of it.
Nice, sounds good.
Especially when you've got the Evertune as well, everything
there's like never a time where it's out of tune.
It's like the single best invention for guitar since it's been invented, I think. Oh, this cabinet has got it in for me, that's the second time.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry, man.
Should have moved it before I got it.
Yeah. I mean, the final one on there anyway is the lead patch, right?
Yeah, the lead. So we've got, let's have a look.
That's the Alan Joss lead.
Andy Joss.
Andy
Allen. Hang on. I always forget that you've got to turn the knob, not scroll the page button.
That's what I heard.
So, right, yeah, we got this on on the Supreme amp, which I quite like. It's pretty smooth. This tone has actually been dialed in for a live setting, because again, most of these are like my live tones rather than studio tones, because they're dialed in slightly differently. But this was dialed in through a Victory effects loop and cab. I just did a fly gig to Venice and I had to figure out how to just get this. So I just plugged it in, turned the cab sim off and just sort of dialed it in. So that's the sort of tone I ended up with. Again, it's pretty mid-focused.
Yeah. But that's what I fucking turn into a robot there. Jesus Christ. That is exactly what you want a lead tone to be though, don't you? You want it to sit way more forward than the rhythm channel as well.
Yeah, I mean, the resonance is completely off on here.
Yeah.
The gain's on about 80. I mean, again, it's just the amp.
So you're not boosting it with anything. This is literally just the Supreme amp.
There's a DS1 on here actually. Let me have a look. Yeah, so it's like a model DS1, the XOD it's called on here.
Okay.
So I've got that dialed in. The drive, I mean, most of the time I'll set up analog pedals in front of anything. I'll turn the level all the way up and the drive all the way off and just have the tone up the middle.
Just the whole classic.
So yeah, if I'm using like a DS1 or an SD1 or even, I don't know, something Tube Screamer-esque or whatever, that's pretty much how I always use it, more like a sort of line driver than anything else.
Just to push the preamp a little bit more.
Yeah,
well, tighten up the bottom end.
Exactly, and give you a bit more of that mid focus. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Which it helps with the sort of like pick attack and stuff. So. helps with that kind of pick sound. So that's, a lot of people ask me about that kind of, how do you get the pick attack and stuff, and it's normally the pedal in the front end with a noise gate, but with the drive all the way off. Yeah. So it just, because I play a lot on the neck pickup, you can get like really flabby low end if you're not careful. Yeah. So I try and use the pedal as more of a glue than anything. Yeah,
just to bind it all together really. Yeah.
So it works really well on here. I mean, it definitely cuts through a mix as well. Like from the sort of, I mean, I haven't been with Boss that long, so I'm still kind of like finding my feet with certain things. But I mean, that's kind of like a testament to the tone really, that I haven't been using it that long yet. I've managed to get tones that I really like, and plus the fact from a recording point of view as well.
Yeah, I mean it must be indispensable for recording, because obviously out there nowadays you've got your Axfexes, your Kempers, your DV Marks, all of this stuff. But it just shows that if you can get the signal out of, you can get the same sort of sound out of the GT1000 as well. I think it's overlooked at the moment. I think because in store, especially, a lot of people are going towards the Line 6, the Helix stuff.
Right, yeah.
People really, really dig that sort of stuff. And obviously we sell the Kemper and obviously we sell the Boss GT1000. But I think it's the same as a lot of other things that you kind of need to get the customer just to try it. And then they're kind of, oh, wow, okay.
Well, this is the thing, yeah. I mean, I think we're kind of in a period at the moment where we're really trying to sort of change that mindset that, you know, Boss actually, because the thing is, right, with all of these other things that have been happening, Boss have been the underlying player's choice just for pedals
for years.
Yeah, with all this other new stuff coming out, obviously it's getting like the press and everything, but like people are still using the old, you know, metal zone pedals,
exactly,
or the S1 or the SD1 or whatever, and that stuff still gets widely used. And I don't know, like with this stuff, I mean, as soon as I tried it, in fact, my first experience with this was at NAMM this year, and I had to go and play at Kiesel, and I didn't really want to lug one of these over, because I went there to demo the Katana, that's what I was doing. Yeah. So I was like, right, I'm not going to be able to kind of go over there, because they had to keep breaking down the set and putting it back up every time they wanted artists to play.
Yeah, because it was it was a large booth, but it was like a rectangular corridor sort of effect, wasn't it? So
yeah, and it was just sort of in the corner. Yeah, so they had to keep putting everything up. So I wanted like a quick solution to just be able to go in there. And what I did was I got this on and I just flicked through a load of patches on a new one, because the one out in the foyer at NAMM, people have obviously
messed around with
it and probably saved different patches over the top. But
well, we were talking about that after you played, weren't we? I came over and I said hello after you played your set at the Boss one, and you were like, well, I don't know. I had no idea.
Yeah. I mean, this was kind of based off I mean, a lot of these sounds are based off presets to start with. I just kind of tweaked them and changed them around. But this sound essentially started out as a preset called Velvet Lead. Ooh. Yeah. Satin. And it looked like it was going to sound good. And then when I plugged in, I was like, okay, fair enough. And then the wah was already dialed in as well. Yeah. So like for certain songs that I'd need wah for over NAMM, I mean, I took a bit of a chance, to be honest, at that Kiesel booth when I was playing a song called After Midnight. There's a wah section in that, right? I just went to step on it thinking, I don't know, let's just see if this was. And it was. And I was like, okay, yeah, sweet. And it actually sounded really good as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, I mean, my wah choice up to this point was always the custom audio, MXR.
Yeah.
But that has too many bells and whistles on it for me. Like, there's too many like knobs and boosts and stuff like that. So like in my pedal board, sometimes it would get knocked and I'd be like, why doesn't this sound
like
right?
It did? Yeah.
So with this one, it's pretty much no frills. You step on it and away you go, sort of thing. I mean, I haven't really messed around with it too much. I mean, I just sort of like kicked it on, and maybe I can do that now. I'll sit a bit awkwardly. There we go. Well, drop me pick there.
Johnny old pick.
Yeah.
No, but it's all about the ease of use. Like the only reason that I use the Morley one, the Michael Amott one, is literally because of just it engaging as soon as I touch it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the whole ease of use, and having it built into the board is that representation of being an artist and needing something really easy.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem, you can't really do that with this, because it's like a volume pedal
as well
when you don't kick it in.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's cool. You can do like kind of Petrucci fade-ins or whatever, which is quite nice.
Yeah. I mean, so that's kind of like, I mean, so apart from recording...
I have a bunch of, I don't know, these probably sound... Hang on.
Oh, okay.
And they got the cab sim on, but that's kind of a little bit darker. I mean, you wouldn't gig with that because obviously it's not cutting through because of the cab sim or whatever, but it gives you the idea. So imagine that, but obviously if I was going direct, you'd probably get more of that kind of tone.
Are you loading up your own IRs on this, or are you using the cabs that come with the GT?
No. This is pretty much just tweaked as is. So
I mean, that's another cool thing, isn't it? It's another testament to it that you're using the cabs that are on there, and you're not building your own or anything, or getting someone else to do them. So
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, what you got to remember as well is like, it's all very well dialing in presets and stuff like that, but obviously it's dialed into these pickups, how they react to the way I play and stuff like that. So someone else might plug into that and be like, this sounds a bit weird, or it's a bit harsh, or whatever. But I don't know, man. I mean, I've been doing... I mean, normally when I get things like this, I do put it through its paces quite a lot. I don't just go, this sounds amazing or whatever, just to get paid or whatever. Because I don't really like doing that anyway. If I don't like something, I just won't use it.
Just say, I don't like it.
Yeah, but when I got this, I was like, okay, well, before I start kind of waxing lyrical about it and stuff, I want to do a bit of recording and see how I get on and see how it translates and stuff. Yeah. But it's great. I mean, you can get that. I mean, the sort of track that I did was kind of like a really slow, kind of laid back groove sort of thing with the lead over the top of it. But there really wasn't a lot of post-processing. Yeah. I mean, the sort of standard things that you would normally do, because obviously you can't, most of the time, even if you use things like, Kempers, Axe Effects or whatever, you record a tone and it's pretty much in the ballpark, even with like a valve amp in the studio. But then, once you start adding things in, you'll start finding that maybe there's something you need to cut out of it in order for that to sit right. So it's very rare that you'll plug into a tone, record it, and it will just sit right. Yeah. I mean, that's probably I can probably count on one hand how many times that's ever happened in my life. Yeah, and then you stick with it. You've probably had to massage it a little bit.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Yeah. I mean, so apart from the GT1000, the Katana thing, has that been doing all right for you as well? You've been enjoying that?
Yeah. I've done there's a few videos on my YouTube actually. The last, I'd say 3 or 4 videos, probably from the Katana sort of demo that I did, and then I released like 3 just single tracks that I had that were probably left over from the last album I just wanted to do, put out or whatever. And I recorded all of them with the Boss Katana, like the rhythm and lead. Yeah. But I wanted to do an experiment, right? Because I wanted to see how close I could get to my Kemper tone that I had on the album. So I dialed it in as close as I could, and then I used the same sort of like EQ settings, and it was nuts. Like I couldn't tell the difference between them. So in fact, I think the Katana came out a little bit better. I mean, it had a bit more of a 3D sound to it.
I think it's another thing. I think people get put off. Well, not put off. I think people become a little bit skeptical because they're like, yeah, but it's only 400 and something pounds. Do you know what I mean? Like it's only 409 pounds, so it can't be better than the Kemper. It can't be better than whatever and whatever.
It's the old thing though, mate. Shit in, shit out. Yeah. If you've got someone that doesn't know what they're doing, anything, you could spend $4,000 on an amp and it'd still sound like shit.
Yeah, no, it's very true.
It's 2019 and people still don't get that.
No. Yeah,
so it's like, look, I mean, I used to play with an OLP, like, what was it, the Ernie Ball?
Yeah, like the entry level, copy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 120, no, it was 119 quid.
Yeah.
I mean, I whacked a couple of evolutions in it, and this part on the neck, the E string kept slipping out, so I had to tape it in. Yeah. And I gigged with like that for years. Yeah. Like this blue one. There's old YouTube videos of me playing it.
I mean, that's what. Yeah, but as you said, that's all it takes.
I mean, I'm not saying they sound any good.
No,
like,
it's done its job.
For where I was at the time, it didn't really matter that it was a 120 quid guitar. You know what I mean? It just did what I wanted to.
So that kind of covers the GT1000 and your thoughts on the Katana and everything. I didn't want to go deep into what the settings do on the Katana and everything because they're pretty, I don't
really know.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, the one thing I have noticed with that is it's easier with the software.
Yeah, okay.
Like, if you've got it in front of you, you can just tweak stuff and save it and move it around.
Okay.
And yeah. Because I'm normally I don't like software from that point of view. That's probably why I had 2 Axe effects and sold them.
True.
And so then when I met the guy that made it, he was like, "Oh, did you use Axe Edit?" I was like, "No." He went, "Well, there you go." I'm like, oh, "Okay, right." Yeah. So it's my fault.
Yeah. It's your fault that you don't get on with it, unfortunately. So last piece of the puzzle I wanted to talk about is the guitar. Yeah. This absolute beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't last year. Was it last year or was it the year before where it was being thought about? Was it?
It was an awkward NAMM of 2018.
2018?
Yeah.
So the one that I went out with and where I kept on bumping into you and you were flying by.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't particularly busy that year from a playing point of view, but it was like an opportunity to sort of get around and meet some new people and talk about some stuff that maybe, your emails come to life. You can actually meet these people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd never met Jeff at this point, but I'd sort of expressed an interest in working with them about sort of 6 months prior to.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little bit of an awkward situation because, I mean, partly my fault really. I kind of had it in my mind that I wanted to change guitar companies for a number of different reasons. Just things kind of weren't exactly how I wanted them. So I was talking to my friend Chris Johnson. He was working for Dunlop at the time, and I was just sort of saying, so what do you think about his Kiesels? Because I knew he's an advocate of Kiesels. And then later on that year, I got to try a couple out while I was on tour in America. Jay Tarantino, he plays for Angel. He had one.
The Sparkle Red one.
As well.
Because Chris is on there as well, isn't he?
Yeah, 2 completely different models. One was a headless, which I was never going to go for, but I thought I'd have a go anyway because it was fan fret as well, and I'd never really had a go on it. I mean, 2 things really. One, the fan fret thing didn't throw me as much as I thought it would. But he's only got like a...
Yeah. It's always that story. People always go, will I be okay with the fan fret? And you're like, literally give it a go. If you're looking at the dots, it's not going to make much of a difference.
No. I mean, I think if it was like that,
if it was extreme, it'd be a different matter, especially down at the bottom end.
Yeah, I mean, it's just certain things as well where your finger sort of ends up further this way. And you're like, I don't know if I can get my head around that. So I had to go on a True Temperament once, and I totally lost my way with that. I didn't get it. So anyway, the Kiesel thing. So I tried a couple, and I was like, right, okay, I think I'm going to be into this. And everybody had said like great things about them and stuff like that. So the problem is while we were sort of like doing that, the signature guitar for ESP was kind of being thought about for like the white version of the black 7-string with the Evertune. But the problem with that was I'd never met Jeff in person, and I don't really like having relationships with people like via email unless I kind of know them and we get on.
Yeah, if you have like a personal relationship already.
Yeah. Well, I like to, see people at NAMM, have a laugh.
Of course.
And do that kind of thing. So it really was like NAMM was the sort of crunch, and unfortunately the clock had run out with the ESP thing. They'd already kind of like gone in to like do all of that. Because I didn't really want to go to ESP and be like, oh, actually I'm thinking of like...
Yeah.
Leaving. I mean, things were pretty sort of like tense anyway. I was kind of getting more and more like frustrated. So yeah, I probably should have said something. I mean, they quite rightly told me I should have because
No,
I spent money on it, and you know, I wholeheartedly agree, to be honest with you.
No,
but
some people should say things, and some people shouldn't say things. It's kind of the way things work, really.
Well,
at the end of the day.
I mean, I think we've all had experiences.
Yeah, we've all had experiences.
But yeah, anyway, I met Jeff. We got on instantly. I played the Crescent guitars, and that was it, really.
Yeah.
I was kind of like sold on it.
But apart from that, you're now a signature artist.
Yeah.
So this isn't just a Kiesel Crescent, this is a Andy James signature.
It is, yeah. There's a few different changes. The lower horn on here is slightly shaved away from the original Crescent design. The Evertune, which was kind of part of my signing to Kiesel, because I think he had a lot of interest from people about getting Evertune bridges in, and I think upon me signing to Kiesel, it kind of made sense to bring that on board. So they're available for, I think, just the Crescent and the Aries.
Okay.
They're not available for like the Headless or anything like that.
Sure.
But anyway, so that was that. And initially I was using EMGs in my first kind of prototype run of this particular guitar, which is the red one. It's got no logo and the headstock's the other way around. But yeah, we were sort of firmly set ahead on doing that. But I don't know, like curiosity kind of got the better of me with a pickup that Jeff had been working on, and we did some shootouts and stuff like that. And you know, purely based on the performance of the pickup and what I was wanting, you know, moving forward, especially, you know, doing a lot of recording and a lot of playing and stuff like that. The Kiesel Polarity kind of just pipped it for me. So we ended up doing that, but the offshoot of doing that means that with this plastic casing on these pickups, we can match the colour.
You can match the colour of the guitar.
Of the guitars, yeah. So there's 5 different colours. So there's this one, there's a blue one which I haven't seen yet, only pictures. The red one which I've got, which I have the red pickups for. I just need to change them out, and the green one.
Which you have. Which
I have, yeah.
So you can get them, obviously you got the 7, but can you get them in a 6-string model as well?
Yeah, both 6 and 7 strings available. I mean, the other thing we were going to do as well is to sort of save cost, because this was going to be an extra to do like the back colour to match the burst. But actually, Jeff's gone, we'll do it for no extra cost.
Oh, what, to match the rest?
Yeah, because I just think it looks better. Because we did a green one like this, but it was only green on the front and then it was black the rest of the way around. Okay. It looked cool, but I'd quite like the idea that the guitars...
Yeah, if it was all green at the back as well, it would be quite an eye-catching thing.
Well, all my guitars have the colour like running all the way around the back. Sure. So I thought, well, you know, if people are going to get this guitar, then maybe they should just get exactly what I'm playing rather than compromising.
This one is really, really cool. The silver or the grey is just absolutely awesome.
I mean, this has become my main one, actually, because I've played it the most. And I don't know, I love the way it looks on videos. Kind of suits me as well, because the green, I do love the green, but it's like, it's the sort of thing where I'll do it for shows and stuff like that, or maybe videos that have got like an eye-catching thumbnail or something. But I mean, it plays exactly the same as this. There's nothing different about it.
The red one's cool though as well. It's got that whole sort of Star Wars vibe going on.
Yeah, the sort of Darth Maul style.
Yeah, it is killer.
What else?
So the pickups are active. Yeah,
they're active. I mean, these are like passive in design, but there's like an active circuit within here, and also.
You've got a good coil tapping sound. Yeah.
Which was kind of one of the main reasons why I switched over to these, was the fact that the coil tap just sounded really nice.
Sounds like a proper sort of thing.
I mean, you have to... It's kind of weird with like coil taps, because like I've had a couple of Strat style guitars and all that sort of thing, and you really have to use the right kind of sound to get the most out of it. So yeah, I kind of have to dial in slightly different tones to get the sort of smack I want out of it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, the best thing to do with something like this is just sort of have it, plug it straight into an AC30 or something. Yeah. Or whatever, and you get that kind of glassy clean
straight away,
yeah. And then nickel frets. So we went through a couple of different things, because on most guitars that Kiesel do, I think, well, all in fact, they come stainless steel as standard.
Yeah, they were stainless steel on mine as well.
I had a Les Paul 7-string AJ a while ago. I mean, we didn't really do like a big run of it or anything. It was like an E2.
I remember that guitar. Yeah, I remember that guitar.
So I decided one day, I mean, I love that guitar, I love playing it, it was brilliant and everything, but one day it needed a serious refret, and I thought, you know what, I don't want to refret my guitars anymore, so I'm going to try on this one, get stainless steel frets. I never picked it up ever again. It was the worst. I don't know how anyone can do it. It's cold, it feels like a new guitar every time you pick it up. It just tonally sounds weird to me. I mean, that's 25 odd years of playing nickel frets. I mean, when you've been doing something that long, it's really hard to change. But I thought, no, I'll give it a go. And I didn't like it. But, you know, Jeff was like, look, well, I'm going to try out a few things. So he sent an Aries. It's the maple fretboard, and it's kind of black and wood. That was
the one that I first saw before you had your signature models. Those are the ones that you bought.
Oh, to Anderton's. Yeah, that's right, so, I mean, I don't really play that guitar a whole bunch. Well, actually, I don't at all. It just kind of sits there, really. Yeah. But he wanted to send me an Aries just to make sure that I wasn't.
And that's got the stainless steel frets on it, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. So I wasn't getting romantic about the Crescent, and he wanted to go, look, we'll just try this. I mean, it's a great guitar. Just for me, I feel like the neck's a little bit, you know, the headstock's a bit closer to me, and it sits better on the body. And I kind of prefer the sort of shape of the body. It's a little bit more modern looking, I think. So yeah, I just said to him, mate, I just want to go back to nickel, and he was like, okay,
yeah, thanks,
I'll make you. So the red one came with nickel, and I was like, yeah, this is it, we're done. That was the guitar where we decided the specs for everything for these models.
So when the photos came up of that guitar on Instagram, that was you and Kiesel saying, this is it,
it's coming, but we're not officially saying it's coming. Because Jeff was like a little bit, he wanted to kind of, you know, get me on board and stuff like that, and because we generally wanted to work together and I really wanted to play the guitars, it wasn't about anything to do with, you know, I've seen a few comments of people going, oh, you know, getting everybody's obviously paying them a fortune, and it's like, it's not the case at all. It was nothing to do with money, it was nothing to do with anything, it was purely based on, I loved the guitar and we had a good relationship. And
I mean, the difference being as well, I think the only way that I can tell that it has nothing to do with money is because you're not a artist for a Kiesel, you're a signature artist.
Yeah.
And I think that takes an insane amount of confidence on your part, not just for sales and stuff, but for knowing that it's the guitar that you're going to be with for the considerable future, that, you know, it's the one that you want to go with. You're right there, mate.
I'm all right, sorry.
He's got dropsies.
Yeah, I was welling up, mate.
Yeah, I'm so
No,
no, but you know what I mean, like, especially when the guitars in general are absolutely insane, Kiesel guitars.
Yeah, really well built.
Yeah, that's the thing. And to be able to get a custom order instrument for under £1,000 is, you know, I mean, where other than Kiesel, really?
Yeah.
And they all say, oh, everybody's playing Kiesel and everybody's like being taken by Kiesel and stuff. There's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah. There's not really a whole load of, like, you know, poaching and pressure going on. I mean, that's not my experience. I mean, so going back to the endorsement side of things, it was like, look, you know, kind of work with us and we'll get you some guitars and see what you think. And rather than jumping in and going announcing it straight away as like a signature artist, although that was kind of the idea that we were thinking about.
I think it had more impact though with the waiting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, have you seen Andy's playing a Kiesel? What's that all about?
It
builds it up a bit more.
Yeah. So we spent a long time getting it just right. And you know, Jeff, to his credit, I mean, he's really OCD with that kind of stuff. He wants it to be better than 100% before anything, you know. Yeah. I mean, he's probably one of the most passionate people I've ever met.
Especially I mean, he's got when your company is doing that well in terms of the guitars, you can't help but be that passionate about the product that you make. If it's doing well. If it's not doing well, then you probably have a different mindset, but it doesn't seem to be having a problem.
Well, if it's purely just about business and dollars in the bank or whatever, but I know it's not. I mean, obviously he has got to run a business and he's very successful at it.
But it is a family business, isn't it, as well? Yeah. So there's a reputation that needs to be withheld. So yeah,
and I think, you know, Jeff's injection into the sort of carving crossover to Kiesel, I think, has been paramount in why it's been so successful.
100%. Well, there you go. I think that's about it, really.
Nice one, man.
Thanks
for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming down and just having a chat about the Boss stuff and the GT1000. just make sure that you come into store and try it out, because that's the kind of thing that you need to do. You need to be able to come in, plug it in. We can do the thing. We've got the PA speakers here, so we can do that if you wanted to plug it in and try the amp modeling in terms of speaker emulation. Sorry, and we've also obviously got katanas and amps everywhere, so that we can plug it into the effects return, so you can hear what it sounds like just using it as a processor for something else. And it's a GAC bestseller. Superb.
What more can you say?
I know, exactly. All right, dude. Well, once again, man.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.